playing in accordance to what he did well, what happened? Nick Foles wins Super Bowl MVP. People, that's what coaching is. And which leads me to my second topic of the night. As I stated a second ago, or third, fourth, whatever. As I stated a little while ago, the NFL is becoming more friendly offensively. Now, they say they're doing this because they want people to enjoy the game more, and yada yada yada, this, that, and the third. You know how it goes. Oh man, well, offense brings people to the stands. But guess what? If offense really just offense exclusively brought people to put asses in the seats, ask somebody, say, name 5 defensive players. Some of the most popular people in the last 20 years have been defensive players. Lawrence Taylor, 30 years. Lawrence Taylor, Deion Sanders, Greg Lloyd, Reggie White, Bruce Smith. Of course, it's more offensive players because it's more people on offense who have the opportunity to excel. The reason I'm bringing this up is this. The NFL they've created rules. So defensive players are at a disadvantage. You've heard people like Richard Sherman step up and say, hey man, it ain't nothing we can do. We just the mercy of the offense. You heard me say last week it takes more energy being a former defensive player. It takes more energy. You exert more energy playing defense than you do offense. Because you know what you're going on offense. I'm backing up, which takes a lot of energy. I'm reading what you're doing, mental energy. I'm reacting to what you're doing, exerting more energy. I'm exploding backwards, then I'm exploding forward. I'm thinking and I'm reacting and exploding forward. That's a lot of energy expounded. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is this. The next big quarterback deal is going to be, I think, probably Carson Wentz or one of these guys. And he's going to get $100 million guaranteed because, according to the propaganda, the quarterback is the most important player on the field. You can't win without a big-time quarterback. You need this, and you got to pay him. But if the game has been made easy, because the quarterback is the smartest dude on the field, he's the leader of the pack, you can't win without him because he's essential. Now, my entire life, I've heard this. When scoring wins games, defense wins championships. If that's the case, and it's even more difficult to play defense, shouldn't the Richard Shermans, the Khalil Macks, the Aaron Donalds, and the rest of the defensive players in the National Football League, shouldn't they be paid more now? Shouldn't it be? Because now my job is more difficult than the quarterback because I can't hit it. If you jump in the air and I hit you, you're defenseless receiver. That's why you see so many guys hurdling dudes now. Because back in the day, you jumped your ass up in the air and they buried you. You jumped in the air purposely, and your parents pulled up right where they tackled your ass, and you were dead. We live for dummies to jump in the air. You would probably start slobbing if you saw somebody jump in the air for no reason at all. But now you got to wait till they hit the ground because they're defensive receivers. Now they're super enforcing the 5-yard rule because you don't want to be touched anymore, which plays into my my Supreme Court later, and we're gonna do quarterbacks. It's gonna be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 best quarterbacks in NFL history. But with that being said, isn't it a situation to where defenders should get paid more now? Because Von Miller is going to slow down at Tom Brady. Khalil Mack is going to slow down Tom Brady. Myles Garrett is going to slow down Tom Brady and other big-time quarterbacks. Richard Sherman and Peterson and those guys, they're going to slow down some of these receivers because they are skilled defenders. So if you got skilled defenders, skilled pass rushers, skilled tacklers, because now you not only do you have to be able to tackle, you have to be able to tackle and not fall on the guy as a quarterback. You can fall on the running back, you can fall on the tight end, you can fall on the wide receiver, you can fall on the fullback, the H-back, you can fall on everybody but the quarterback. So now you have to be able to knock a 6'5", 250-pound man down gently. Why am I getting paid less than that 6'5" man? That's the question. And again, 773-797-2409 is how you can ask me, and we can have a conversation about it. Otherwise, keep listening. But shouldn't the defenders get paid more now? Because look, here's the thing. All this offensive should be offensive dominance. Now, this is what I want you to understand. Offense is the order of the day. There's no way around it. It makes you hold the bomb, hold the 70-yard touchdown, all that stuff. Oh, who was just said something? You can't get folks to land. You can't get folks to. You can't get two folks landing, and you're. Yeah. Joe from Houston just mentioned the fact that quarterback rule was in effect up until Andrew Luck got tackled by those two dudes. Nobody called a flag on that. Please help me understand. And he's one of the golden boys. You know, he is the Aaron Rodgers. He is the Tom Brady, the Drew Brees, the Big Ben Roethlisberger. He's all of that. But nobody called a flag on that. Excellent point, Joe. Joe from Houston in the building, people. Much love. Now, back to the point. When you are looking at this, you're looking at these games, you're looking at some of these scores, you get a whole bunch of points scored. You got 24-38, but then you get 13-12. You get 27-17. Then you get 9-12. You get 23-31, 30-14. This shows you that in a lot of these games, the defense are stepping up to win these games. When you look at the Houston game and the Dallas Cowboy game, Houston and Dallas's defense were playing outstanding, and which made Jason Garrett not go for it on fourth down, one of the best running backs in the league and one of the best offensive line, because he said, my defense is doing their thing. See, that again, this goes back to the point earlier, whereas we have to stop listening to the TV. We have to start, look, this is why you don't just Google the stats. Anybody can sit around and say, man, Jason Garrett was stupid for, you got Ezekiel Elliott and blah, blah, blah. What he did was what you were supposed to do. Your defense is on a roll. Y'all beating the hell out of Deshaun Watson. His ribs busted up. Their offensive line is shaky. You damn right. I'm going to punt this ball, put them on the 20. Hope they may fumble. We may sack Deshaun. We may get an interception, which they did. And then we may be able to score. But they were unable to score. So that's why you have to not look at the result and look at the process. The process is this. My defense is on a roll, which we should be getting paid more money. Being a former defender, I'm speaking up for all the brothers. My defense is on a roll. Their offense is staggering. I'm betting on defense. Everybody told that lie. He may have split the locker room. Hey, the last time I checked, the locker room was already split. Defenders on the left, offensive players on the right, and the defender said he believed in us. And the offensive player said, man, save this game for us. And that's how it goes. See, you get it's good radio. It's good TV to bring up stuff like he split the locker room. No, he didn't. Because when one side is on a roll, you standing on the sideline going, man. You think the Legion of Boom? Why do you think? As a matter of fact, look at the Legion of Boom. They wanted Beast Mode to get the ball because they had slowed down that Brady machine, and they knew they couldn't slow down that Brady machine because they were not healthy. Cam Chancellor had a torn muscle. Richard Sherman was playing on a sprained MCL. Bobby Wagner had a bad shoulder. They were busted up, so they could only contain Tom Brady. They couldn't stop him. But even though they couldn't contain him, or they couldn't stop him, they can only hope to contain him. Shout out to Dan Patrick. They knew if you let Beast Mode do his thing, he gonna do his thing. They gave him the ball once. He run down to the 2-yard line. You got 2 timeouts. So there is no fracturing of the locker room because one side is very aware of what the other side is capable of. Defenders, when your offense is stagnant, you leave the field and say, man, don't blow this for us, man. Don't fuck this up. That's all you asking for the quarterback. If you got a garbage quarterback, You got to track. You got a substandard quarterback. I'm not gonna call anybody garbage. You're in the NFL. You can play football. You just can't play very well on that level. If you got a substandard quarterback, Warren Sapp and those guys used to just look at. They told Brad Johnson, just don't blow this dog. We gonna shut them down. Ray Lewis and his crew used to tell. They told Trent Dilfer, just don't blow this. We shutting these fools out. If you can get us 7, we gonna win. That's what it is on the sideline. Not this nonsense. And man, it's the fractured offense, and then we getting sick of this. Really, football players get sick of reporters. Those are the only people in the world that get sick of answering the exact same question. What time is it? How much time has expired in a day? What does your watch say? It's the same thing, bro. No matter how many ways you ask me that, the answer is gonna be 7:57 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's just the name of that tune. But at the end of the day, I think defenders need to start getting a bigger chop, because if you give me a bigger chop, I don't understand. I mean, if I don't get a bigger chop, I don't understand how. Man, quarterback is so important. And if Tom Brady scored 45 points and we give up 55, he's not that important anymore. But if Tom Brady scored 24 and we give up 17, we Super Bowl champions. How about that? And with that being said, that is going to lead me into the week of football. It was a very interesting week in the NFL last week. It started off on Thursday. Shout out to Tom Brady for breaking into the 500 touchdown club. Big ups to that, brother. Tom Brady, salute. But as I stated Saturday, Tom Brady started to lose a little bit off his fastball. Nobody talked about that this week. He was a little bit off. And as I stated Saturday, my man is no longer Wolverine. He is Logan. And if he continues to be Logan, they're gonna continue to look good, because we know Logan was a bad motherfucker, but he ain't Wolverine. And he was a little off. And if the Colts were anything that resembled a real good football team, the Patriots would have lost. And we will see semblance of that, in my personal opinion, this weekend when they play the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the next game that I looked at was the Buffalo Bills and the Tennessee Titans. This is a perfect example of what I talked about earlier in the show. When we don't have offensive coordinators and offensive-minded coaches and we don't have coaches. We have play callers. We have stat watchers and things of that nature. Because when you have play callers and stat watchers, you don't develop talent. Marcus Mariota was one of the most efficient football players that college football had ever seen. He was a dude who was very good on the run, and he was good in the system. They don't run what he's comfortable with, i.e., going back to Mike Shanahan, going down to Baylor University and asking Art Browse. Never mind, people. I ain't gonna go to the Art Browse situation. Asking Art Browse what RG3 does well, and when he found out what RG3 did well, he constructed an offense for RG3 that won him Rookie of the Year. People thought he was going to be the next big thing. Now, you got Josh Allen and Marcus Mariota, who I don't think are being developed. They are being coached by play callers. Therefore, you get a game that went down to the wire 12-13. It sounds like an exciting game, but this was a piss poor offensive game, and it is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. The next game on the list is the Bengals and the Dolphins. Believe it or not, man, you're looking at the score 27-17. I picked this game. Andy Dalton did his thing. He was 20 for 30, 248 yards and an interception. And a touchdown. You got Joe Mixon. I told y'all Joe Mixon is that deal, man. 22 carries, 93 yards. It looks like a blowout. It looks like a game that was handily won by the Cincinnati Bengals. The problem is the Cincinnati Bengals spotted the Dolphins for 17 points by the middle of the third quarter. From the middle of the third quarter on, the Bengals scored 27 unanswered points, and primarily because they got more balance, and I do believe, unlike the homie Anthony Aquarius, Big Illinois 73, I think Marvin Lewis is a pretty good coach, and he's showing himself to be a good coach. And you know what? Even though, sidebar on the Marvin Lewis thing, do y'all know, everybody know how I feel about that one quarterback that used to play for Cincinnati named Carson Palmer. Man, do y'all know I was